What's up, everyone? It's Crooked Croc, and I'm back again with week 2 of the I.L.L. This week, your Hub City Houndooms get to go up against Sketchy Smeargle and his Seattle Smeargles. Just kind of a heads up. My Skun tank was, for some reason, it was not accepting the moves Defog and Sucker Punch when on Showdown. I run the exact same set. Everything is the exact same. So I'm not quite sure what happened with the Skun tank. So I just switched. I switched Sucker Punch and Defog for Flamethrower and Dark Pulse. So not the greatest switch up, but it's all I had at the moment. It was kind of a last second kind of thing. So we had to switch up that. And then also so that just leaves me open to rocks and no defog. So if you see me not clearing up the rocks, that's why. But just want to start off by saying this was a great battle. There was a lot of predictions going on between the two of us, and just all in all a great battle. And so I'm excited to get this started and to show you guys exactly what happened. So to actually start off the battle, he leads with his Dawn Fan, and I lead with my with Land Urchin, my Ferrothorn. I'm immediately going to go for the Leech Seed because there's not a whole lot that this Dawn Fan can do to me that's even going to touch me. So, and he of course switches out immediately into his Entei, which generally would be very scary to me. I have Houndoom in the back for the Sacred Fire just in case, and then I have Protect on my Ferrothorn to kind of scout what he's going to do to me. I can take anything but a Sacred Fire from this thing, so I'm actually going to protect this turn and kind of scout out what he's going to do. And he actually goes for the Bulldoze, which means I could easily eat that up, so I am not switching out. I'm assuming he's Choice Banded, and so he actually does switch out, which shows me that he is Choice Banded, and I make a misprediction on him switching out, and I go for Thunder Wave as he switches into his Dawn Fan, which obviously is not going to affect it. So he gets a free Stealth Rock up, which he would have gotten anyway, but then I go for the Leech Seed just to get back some health, because this thing has a lot of HP to give me, so I'll be sapping that up every turn. And I'm actually going to go for the Iron Head this turn, as he goes for the knockoff and sadly gets rid of my Rocky Helmet, which may come back to bite me later on if I had predicted a little better. But I go for the Iron Head, which actually does a lot more damage than I was expecting it to do. So I'm assuming he's maybe got some special defensive investment as well, instead of just straight defensive investment. But I'm getting a lot of health back from that Leech Seed, and he switches out, and I actually make the prediction this turn. And I go for another Leech Seed, expecting him to switch. And he did, in fact, switch for me, which I got a free Leech Seed off on the Sylveon then at that point. I make a misplay on this play, actually, as I go for a Protect, because I was going to scout if he had HP Fire. But he goes for the Wish, fully expecting my Protect, and so he predicted me on that play, and over predicted on my play. So he's going to get a free heal on any Pokemon he chooses to come in. So I know he's going to switch because he just wished, and he's going to actually switch back into Donnie the Non-Fan, and I'm going to predict that, and I'm going to go for another Leech Seed. And so he switches in on a Leech Seed, but he gets almost all of his health back from that Wish, which means that Sylveon is probably especially defensive and max HP. So in this next play, he does withdraw his Dawn Fan and switches back into Entei, as I go for. Actually, I can't even remember. I go for an Iron Head, okay. And this Iron Head actually does a decent amount of damage. Does more than I was expecting it to. I didn't expect it to do a whole lot at all. But I go for the Protect, obviously, to scout again. He goes for the Sacred Fire this turn, So obviously I'm going to switch into my Houndoom, because why not? At least I get a free switch into Houndoom no matter what. So now I do take rock damage, and like I said earlier on in the video, I am not going to be able to defog those away. He does continue to go for the Sacred Fire, which gives me a flash fire boost. But he sends out the Teardrop, and I decided not to Mega Evolve this turn in case he went for another Sacred Fire. And so I just went for the regular Fire Blast, and it actually misses, which it still wouldn't have done very much damage at all, but it misses. He goes for the Tail Glow, which I was fully expecting, but I was hoping he wouldn't. Okay, so he is at +3 special attack, and he goes for the Shadow Ball. I was expecting either Energy Ball or Shadow Ball, and he does run the Shadow Ball. And I somehow live, not somehow, but I live that due to all the investment I have. And he actually, on this next turn, tries to predict me going into Talonflame with the Shadow Ball, and he goes for the Ice Beam, which I actually eat that up, but he gets the Freeze Hacks, which I'm not sure in the end really made that much of a difference. But if I would have gone for the Scald, it definitely would have made the difference, and you'll see that in a little bit. But he did get the freeze, and so I'm obviously not going to switch out. He's going to take a little bit more toxic damage on this turn, but I'm not going to switch out. He's going to Ice Beam me again, just because why not? Nothing I could really switch into. And so Jellicent goes down. My special wall goes down, and he gets little leftovers and takes some more toxic damage. Now I sat and debated for a good 15, 20, 25 seconds on who I should send out between Jafar and Kamikaze, and I ended up choosing Jafar with the Psychic, and he lives on maybe 9 HP and takes me out with a Shadow Ball. So Jafar didn't get to do jack squat in this battle other than help take Manaphy down. He didn't actually get the kill himself, which is kind of sad. But Jellicent did get the kill with the toxic damage, finally taking that thing out. And so I send out Ferrothorn because that's my best lead at this point, and he actually does send out the Entei. Now at this point, I've decided, obviously the only move I can make on Ferrothorn is to protect. And so I do go for the Protect to scout, but he sends out the Jolteon. And the Jolteon Volt switches. I'm not sure if he was expecting me to switch or if he just really did not want to have the Jolteon in there, but I do not eat that up as much as I really should have, maybe. I don't know. I'm not especially defensive, so it's probably why I didn't eat it up at all. But I went for the Leech Seed on the Jolteon, and he Volt switched out, so I get the Leech Seed on this Metagross, which is nice. There's still some healing. I fully expected him to have the Hammer Arm, but I was just really hoping he didn't have it. At this point, I was not playing extremely careful with my Ferrothorn. I could have protected this turn, but he does go for the Hammer Arm, and I live with just enough HP for him to take some Iron Barb damage and get a Thunder Wave off on his McNasty, which is big, because that thing, maxes out at level 100. It maxes out at 350 base speed, or max speed, I guess. And so I go ahead and protect just to get some more leftover, or just get some more Leech Seed off on the Metagross. At this point, I know for a fact, even though he would be faster than me if he was just paralyzed. Because he's paralyzed and he's had a -1, I outspeed him, and I go for the Iron Head, or hoping for the Paraflinch, but he actually does not, and he misses his Hammer Arm, which is huge. I get extra Leech Seed, and then he withdraws on this next turn, which was huge for me. So he switches out into Donphan, and I go for the Protect, which obviously failed. That was a big play for him to miss that Hammer on, because Ferrothorn is very crucial to my team at this point. So he goes for the Earthquake. I of course eat that up. Maybe not as much as I was kind of hoping. He may have a little attack investment, but I got the Leech Seed off, which is going to give me enough HP to live another Earthquake, should he choose to Earthquake me again. And so at this point I really have no other choice but to either Protect or go for Iron Head, and I just go for the Iron Head, which is perfect because the Iron Head gets to hit this Sylveon for a ton of damage. I was really hoping at one shot, but it didn't actually get to one shot. If I had a little bit of attack investment, it might have. So he gets to get a Wish off, which is no big deal. I could have gone for the Leech Seed here. It wouldn't have killed the Sylveon, and it would have given me a little health back. But I decided to go ahead and go for the Iron Head, and just go ahead and take out the Sylveon, because it is a big threat with that Wish and healing up that Donphan and the Entei over and over again. So he brings back out Sacred, the Entei. So obviously this next turn I'm going to Scout with Protect, and he actually goes for Stone Edge. I'm not sure what he was expecting me to switch into. Maybe he was expecting me to switch into Staraptor. But he goes for it again, maybe hoping to get a crit. But I eat that up, of course, and I go for the Leech Seed. So at this point, he obviously knows that without a crit, he definitely cannot take me out with a Stone Edge, especially after I get a little health back from Leech Seed. And so he withdraws, of course. Sends out McNasty, which I was actually not expecting. I shouldn't have Thunder Wave. I should have immediately just gone for the Leech Seed again. That would have been my better play, but he takes me out with Hammer because he does outspeed at this point. So he takes a little bit of Iron Barb's damage, and my Ferrothorn goes down. If I would have Leech Seeded, I might have been able to take out that McNasty right then and there. So I send out my Dark Pulsing Skuntank as he sends out Donphan. Of course I am Careful Nature, so my special attack is not very high at all. And so, but this actually does quite a bit of damage, surprisingly. Quite a bit more than I was expecting, at least. I fully expected him to go for the Earthquake, and I thought he would one-shot me. So my choice here was Flamethrower, because I was hoping to get the 10% burn on the Donphan. And he does go for Earthquake. But I actually live on 21 HP. I didn't calc it at this point, I just kind of went with it. But he does not kill me with the Earthquake, and so I get another I was expecting the Ice Shard, but he did not have the Ice Shard for some reason. So I got a free Dark Pulse off on him. I was hoping for the flinch, did not get the flinch, and he gets the Earthquake off and takes me out. No big deal. I mean, Skuntank wasn't really going to do anything without Defog in this battle anyway. So, but I get to bring in Houndoom, and obviously, you know, a Dark Pulse from a Mega Houndoom at this point is going to take out the Donphan. So I have no doubt in my mind that this Dark Pulse will finish off this Donphan. And again, he does not use Ice Shard to get any kind of damage off on me, so I'm kind of interested to know what his moveset was in the end. So he sends out Entei, and this play right here is huge. It's huge. I outspeed naturally, and he is definitely Choice Banded and not Choice Scarf, so I Destiny Bond, and he hits the Stone Edge. Ladies and gentlemen, he hit the Stone Edge, taking my Houndoom out like expected, and I take out this huge threat of an Entei. That was big for me, because now Talonflame can come in and not have to take unnecessary damage trying to take out that Entei. So he sends out Fritz, the Jolteon. I am actually Choice Scarf, so I outspeed because he is not Choice Scarf. And Double Edge easily one-shots this thing, especially with Reckless. The crit did not matter, even if he was a defensive Jolteon. But that puts me at about just under half HP. So 75 out of 161, so it puts me at just under 50%. He bullet punches like expected. I live on 3 HP. To come in and take him out with a Double Edge for a 0-0 win. Like I said at the beginning of this video, that this was an amazing battle between Sketchy and I. Or Sketchy and me, rather. Grammar. But yes, it was a big win for me. I am now 2-0, but it was a great battle from Sketchy. He definitely brought some stuff that I expected him to bring, and then he brought some stuff that I didn't quite expect him to bring. But all in all, you know, as close as it was, I was literally, my heart was pounding the entire time. And it was just an overall amazing battle. So good game to you, Sketchy, and good luck in the rest of this season. And guys, thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please get Moxie boosted by smashing that like button for me, and join the Moxie people by subbing to my channel, subbing to Sketchy's channel. I'll leave his description in the, I'll leave his link in the description below. And again, thank you for watching this video, and I will see you next time in week 3 of the I.L.L. See you guys later.